You ever notice how motivation is, well, it's just the most unreliable thing in the world? Some days you wake up just totally on fire, you're ready to conquer everything. And then other days, just getting out of bed feels like climbing Mount Everest. It's so frustrating, isn't it? It really does feel like a total roller coaster. But the big question is why? Why can't we just flip a switch and feel motivated whenever we need to? Well, we're going to get into that. And I'm going to show you a surprisingly simple solution. We've all lived these 2 days, right? On one hand, you've got the fired up day. Your to-do list is actually getting shorter, you're in the zone, you feel completely unstoppable. And on the other hand, oh yeah, we know this one, the can't start day. Every single task feels impossibly heavy, and procrastination, well, it's your new best friend. So, what's wild is that the huge difference between those 2 days often boils down to this one tiny mistake we all make. We think we have to wait to feel motivated. We sit around waiting for that magical lightning bolt of inspiration to strike before we can actually get to work. But what if I told you we've had it completely backward this whole time? Here's the idea that changes everything. Motivation doesn't cause action, it's the result of action. You don't wait for motivation to show up. You start doing something, and that's what creates the motivation. Okay, so if motivation comes from doing something, how in the world do we get ourselves to do anything on those can't start days? The trick is, honestly, it's so simple. You just lower the starting point. You make it so ridiculously easy to start that it feels almost silly not to. Just think about it like this. The big goal, I need to work out for a full hour, that can feel like a huge wall to climb, especially on a low energy day. But what about the tiny start? I just need to do it for 2 minutes. Come on, can you do that? Of course you can. It's so easy your brain barely has a chance to object. And it's the exact same thing with something like studying. A 2-hour cram session? Yikes. That feels daunting. But how about this? I just need to open my book for 1 minute. Literally anyone can do that. Remember, the goal here isn't to finish the entire task. The goal is just to start the smallest, tiniest version of it. Now, this isn't just some clever little mind game you play on yourself. There is real hard science behind why these tiny starts are so incredibly effective. It all comes down to the psychology of momentum. So here's what's actually happening inside your head. Your brain is wired to resist big, scary, intimidating tasks. That's just a survival instinct, right? But a tiny 2-minute action, it doesn't even register as a threat. By taking that little step, you sneak right past your brain's resistance. And even better, you get a tiny little hit of dopamine, that feel-good chemical, just for completing something. That little reward is what builds momentum and makes you think, hey, maybe I'll just keep going. All right, the theory makes perfect sense. But how do we actually turn this into a real daily habit? Let's put together a super simple, practical playbook you can start using tomorrow morning. It really is as easy as this. Step 1, every morning, just pick one important thing. Not 10, just one. Step 2, shrink it. What is the absolute most ridiculously small first step you can take? Is it just putting on your running shoes, opening one email? Get super specific. And finally, step 3, you make a pact with yourself. I only have to do this one tiny thing. That's it. That's the whole commitment. No more pressure. And you know what you're going to find? The hardest part is, and always will be, just getting started. Once you finish that 2-minute workout or that 1 minute of opening your book, you've broken through that inertia. And you'll be shocked how often you look up and realize you've been going for 5 minutes, then 10, then 30. That tiny start is just the key that turns on the engine.
So what is the big takeaway from all this? If you're sitting around waiting for a spark of motivation to get you going, you're looking in the wrong place. You are the spark. Action is the spark.
So let's stop waiting for the perfect moment. Let's stop waiting for the right mood to strike. Motivation isn't something you have, it's something you create. And you create it every single time by starting, no matter how small. So I'll leave you with this one question to put all this into practice, like right now. Forget about tomorrow, forget about next week. What is the one ridiculously tiny, almost laughably small step you can take on something important today?